Hi, in the last video, we understood Kafka, what it is and why our bank needs it. Now, let's actually run Kafka locally without sacrificing our mental health. Instead of manually installing Kafka and Zookeeper like a caveman in 2025, we will use Docker and Docker Compose. One file, one command, Kafka starts, no tears, no therapy required. And if the words Docker and Docker Compose scare you, relax. For now, just think of them as magical tools whose only job is to start Kafka. We will deal with them actually later. So before the Docker Compose file works, you just need to install Docker Desktop. Download it from the official Docker website. Install it like normal application and make sure it is running. Um, and how do you know it's running? You will see a small whale icon like this on your taskbar menu. I'm using Mac, so I see it over here. And when you install Docker Desktop, you automatically get Docker, Docker CLI, and Docker Compose, everything you need in one go. Now, if your installation is successful, you can open a terminal and verify the version of Docker and Docker Compose. Similarly for Docker Compose. Since both commands print a version number, this means we are ready. Now, I have created a folder, Kafka. You can use any name. And in that folder, I created this docker compose YAML file. Let's see what magic is happening inside. So this file starts three services: Zookeeper, Kafka Broker, and Kafka UI. Now think of Zookeeper as Kafka's coordination manager. It keeps track of brokers, topics, and partitions. It runs on port 2181. Kafka Broker. Kafka Broker is the real Kafka server where messages are stored and exchanged. Kafka connects to Zookeeper internally, and Kafka exposes localhost 9092 for our Spring Boot services. Also, Kafka 29092 for communication inside Docker. Kafka UI. Now, Kafka UI is a web dashboard for Kafka. It lets you view topics, partitions, inspect messages, and monitor consumer lag. It's accessible from browser at localhost 8079. Now, in the folder where your Docker Compose YAML file is located, we'll open a terminal and we will run the following command: docker compose up -t. Now, up stands for start all services and -t stands for run it in the background. Then we will see if it is actually up and running. Well, we can see it over here, but we'll open Docker desktop and I'll just type Kafka in the containers. Now you can see all the three services are up and running over here. You have Kafka UI, Kafka, and the Zookeeper. So this ensures that we are up and running. We can also open a browser and type localhost 8079, and from here we can see Kafka UI, and in there you can see Kafka topics and see all the topics we have created. And this UI becomes your local, monitoring tool for Kafka. So a quick high-level summary. Here's what you should actually remember. So Kafka stores and distributes messages across microservices. Zookeeper coordinates Kafka's metadata. Kafka UI lets you see what's happening inside Kafka. And Docker Compose makes everything portable, repeatable, and easy. Now, in the next part, we will see how to wire Kafka into our Spring Boot application. What we need to add in the application.yml file, how our Kafka config.java sets up producers and consumers. That's where we go from Kafka is running to our microservices are actually talking through Kafka. So see you all in the next video. Thank you.